Good, everyone. I'm Zach. I'm the co-founder of Arepa. And as we mentioned before, we're a brain food technology company. And so I'm here to give you a bit of an overview of what we've done here at Arepa and how we've used science to kind of help us on our journey and help us add value to the products that we've created. So if we go to the next slide. So it really started for us with, the problem that we see here, which is more is demanded on our brain than ever before. We've got some stats here with, in 2021, humans taking 19 times more information than did in 1986. 1 in 6 of the world's population suffer from neurological concerns, and with COVID, there's 1 in 4 were experiencing long COVID symptoms, including brain fog after infection. And so prior to that, 10 years ago when Angus and I, it was actually 11 years ago when Angus and I started on this journey, we'd seen this trend in ourselves and through our friends and family. Myself, I dealt with my own versions of anxiety, dealing at work and the stress and pressures of that. And Angus had seen, his grandparents and losing them to Alzheimer's and dementia. So that's kind of what set us off on the journey to where we are. And as time has gone on, the trend that we were seeing on what's demanded on our brain and hasn't slowed down, it's only sped up. So one of the big things we set out to do, if you go to the next slide, is we wanted to create a product that makes brains work better. And one of the key things is we want to make sure it was scientifically proven to do as we say it was. We wanted to set a standard for everyone else, and we wanted to create a product that actually works. Like we came in from, I guess, from our own personal angle, it kind of rooted us in the thing. We actually wanted to make a difference with our products. And so we founded Arepa and we set off on our journey to create, scientifically proven natural products that increase the health and performance of the brain. So if we go to the next slide here. So we really kind of set 3 pillars for ourselves, and it had to be backed by real science. And that's a big pillar of our business, and it's what leads us every day here. We have 2 neuroscientists on staff, and we're continually still doing, which I'll talk about, some clinical studies. But we wanted to create products that people love, and we wanted to have effects that you can feel. So with these 3 components is what kind of set us off to on our journey on Arepa, and it keeps us true to what we're doing today. So we are continually researching into new ingredients, into new formats, further studies of our current formulations and how we can improve that. And by doing that and creating products that are backed by science with effects you can feel, we kind of meeting that middle there of products that people love. And we get a lot of customer feedback, and most days through emails and through social media where they're telling us their story of how Arepa has helped them in their day or in their week or over their year, and and that's what kind of powers us. So we know by investing in the science and creating a product that works, that it's creating that product that people love. And then in turn, it's going to help us, get a returning customer as well. So if we go to the next slide. So I've got a bit of an overview page here of the types of science that we're involved in here. And we have our technology partners. We use, Plant and Food Research, Callaghan Innovation, and I've got another slide after this talking about the universities that we work with. But we are looking in all areas of the product. We're looking at breeding programs where we might be improving or creating our own PVR, the mechanisms of biodiscovery. So we're looking, and we currently are looking deep into the products, into some of the ingredients that we use in our products, and understanding exactly what's happening inside the brain and what part of the component is actually causing this, and how can we, feed that back into our breeding program so we make sure we're creating, for instance, in Neuroberry has more, we've identified the neuroactive compound in Neuroberry that does this very unique thing, which can actually increase dopamine in the brain. We've proven to increase dopamine in the brain, and we've identified what that is. And so now through that science, we can go back and do a breeding program and grow our own, PVR of blackcurrant that we can get a higher yield of this particular neuroactive compound. And then we work with, our food tech partners and things with the stability and food technology to make sure that our product can last through pasteurization. So when it actually lands in the consumer's hands, they're actually getting all the kind of, all the healthy goodness from our product there, and all the kind of bioactives, making sure they are stable through the heat treatments that things go through to make sure they can be pasteurized and last on the shelf. And then the last one there is the human clinical trials. So that's where we take our final finished product and we test it within humans through various different things. So if we go to the next slide, I can show you our kind of clinical pipeline. Go to the next slide. Yep, there we go. So we've got a large clinical pipeline here. We've actually got 2 more that we will be adding to it later this year. But we're looking across all types of areas with our studies here. We've got things like sports and performance, neuroprotection, immunity, mental performance, and then we're going all the way into mild cognitive impairment there, working in Australia with dementia and Alzheimer's. And so with these studies, what they help us understand is exactly where and what our product is doing inside the human brain and what are the benefits that people are getting. So it helps us further educate on what areas we need to double down and how we can improve the product, and also opening up new avenues and new channels for us to potentially sell in, or new markets. If we go to the next slide. So what we currently have and what's in Arepa, the product that's out there today, we have 3 key ingredients. So we've got enzogenol, which is a pine bark extract that comes from New Zealand. We use neuroberry blackcurrant. So that's a blackcurrant that we've identified that has that high neuroactive compound in there. We have a higher grade. And New Zealand has a lot of these blackcurrants that actually have this really high grade. And there are some berries around the world that have it as well. And then L-theanine, which is a green tea amino acid. So this is our patented formula. And so again, through our clinical studies and our science, we've been able to create IP around our formulation. And then now we're going deeper into each of these kind of ingredients and understanding exactly how they are working on their own and how they work together as synergy of product. Next slide. So Professor Andrew Scully, who's mentioned before, he's our Chief Science Officer. Angus and I, we pestered him about 10 years ago. These 2 young guys out of university who had an idea, and we tracked down one of the best neuroscientists in the world who's worked in this space. He's worked with Bayer, Pfizer, Unilever, Nestle, Coca-Cola, and Red Bull on botanical neuroscience, and he's ranked 4th in the world for this as well. So he came on, as a to help us develop the original formulation. But through that time, we've stayed in contact with him, and he's seen the results of our clinical studies, and he's actually come on board. And we're the first, partner that he's actually come on board on as a Chief Science Officer from in the private sphere, where because he sees the potential of our product. So there's a lot more exciting work that we've got underway. And I guess the more and more we go into our research, the more excited we get, because we keep uncovering, we're kind of uncovering gold there, which is really cool. It's really exciting. If we go to the next slide. So yeah, this is a summary of it here, which is we're on a mission to help everyone with a brain, and I guess that's everyone in the room here. We just kind of summarize our kind of, what science has been able to do and what our investment into science has unlocked for us is, we've been able to get a unique defendable formula so that can help us with our patent protection around the world, and our clinical trials have helped us to get our patents. We have a deep understanding of our products and what that does for the consumer. So it helps us for our marketing. It helps us how we, the channels that we go into. It's given us credibility as well, which is one of the kind of key outcomes, with anything that's playing in the health space. The consumer makes, basically three decisions, and it's what does it do for me, and does it work? And so with the space that we play in, consumers have been sold a lie for a very long time. We're playing in the fast consumer moving goods in the beverage aisle. And so they've been told, we've all been told lies for many years through clever marketing. And so that's kind of what we set out as well, as using science is to kind of prove to the consumer that we actually have created a product that genuinely works. And so that's where that credibility piece comes in, that last layer there. So that's what science has helped unlock us here. It helps us with our, we have a huge pipeline of new product development because, as I say, we keep researching and discovering things. We can see new formats and new avenues we can go into. And at the end of the day, it's, created a high returning customer because we have created a product that actually works, that consumers feel, so they come back and use it again and they see the value in our products. So, that's a kind of quick overview of Arepa and our journey with science.